Welcome to days 20 through 28 of my cancer diary. I haven't said much because I was really waiting on my doctor's appointment, which I had yesterday. And the major question I was going to have for the doctor was, what was the point of, not continuing the Orgovix, the bicalutamide, I think I'm saying it right, orally versus taking the Lupron shot. I wanted him to give me a reason why I needed to change because I felt I was comfortable. Well, he told me a couple of things that was a little enlightening. First of all, I was telling him I was feeling pretty good about it. And he enlightened me again, which he didn't tell me before, that I probably really shouldn't see any of the real symptoms for a couple of months at least. So, not really out of the dark with symptoms yet, apparently. That was disheartening a little bit. But he also told me that one of the main reasons why he liked the Lupron shot is because it ensured compliance for him, and that made him feel better. Otherwise, there really wasn't that much difference at all in his opinion. So he was prepared to make me fight a little bit for the Orgovix, which I couldn't really do. So anyway, here we go. Yesterday, I took my first shot of Lupron. I think it was 45 milligrams. He said it was a 6-month shot. So I'm going to return in 6 months. But I got a surprise. And I should have read this a little bit, but with the Lupron, there is a chance for decreased bone density. We gave me a shot called Prolia, also a 6-month shot. Did some research on that. It's basically an osteoporosis medicine, usually used for people with osteoporosis. One of the uses is for men with prostate cancer, excuse me. So that was another one that was thrown on me. And if anything threw me a little bit, I think it was the Prolia more than the Lupron. I didn't really anticipate that. And I started doing some now research on what kind of exercise could I do, and do I need to change my regimen. So right now, a little bit up in the air about my jump roping. Still researching that. I know I need the weight-bearing exercise, which is fine. I don't mind lifting the weights. So that's pretty good and doing pretty good with that. So, but I am going to change the regimen up a little bit, and I'll talk to you about that in the next couple of days. I'm going to change it. More weight bearing, more movement under weight strain, maybe some low walking, some chest pulls, push-ups with the weight, and to start doing a lot more of those exercises. And doctor wasn't extremely clear about some things. One of the things was he told me I needed a calcium and vitamin D supplement. And I didn't know whether he was going to order one, but apparently he did not. So I'm going to the store shortly. And the Prolia information says I need at least 1,000 milligrams a day of calcium and 400 IU of the vitamin D. So I'm going to go get me a fairly good vitamin D supplement and start taking that with this stuff and start doing my exercises and see, where we're going to be. The problem that I had with all of this is that for some reason I just didn't anticipate the bone density thing. And I think that was bothering me because it sort of made me feel like I was fragile, and I really hadn't been feeling that way. Been feeling pretty strong, pretty agile, and the exercising is going well. So for a guy of 65, I know I do fairly good with being able to move about quickly, swiftly, and strongly. My balance is fairly good, although I am working to improve that, but that's pretty good too. So that bone density thing threw me a little bit, and I'm sort of mentally dealing with that because there's an air of fragility to that. And that's the last thing I really wanted to have, was any air of fragility. So that's what I was trying to avoid, even in my own mind. So we'll see, how this part goes. So shortly I'm going to get my vitamin D. And diet's been doing good, fruit and vegetables anyway. I'm going to look into some Rastafarian diets. Ital, I think they call it, ITAL, and start looking at that and seeing if I can come up with some recipes different recipes that I can make, instead of just kind of winging it, because that's kind of hard. You got fruit and vegetables, but I want to come up with some recipes, maybe go into that a little bit, maybe go into some, cooking in that style. I don't know much about um, Rastafarian type meals, but it seems to be something that could give me some healthy, you know, recipes. So I'm going to start looking into that too. I'm just trying to basically do the things that I can do to help this. So right now, I'm going to do a little bit more research on Prolia, at least the best I can. I called their hotline, and it was just a recording. So I thought maybe I'd talk to somebody, but it was just a recording and basically went over the possible side effects, which are always glim and glum when you're reading those. So, but for the most part, I'm carrying fairly decent health in there. I just want to make sure I'm staying as strong as possible. So I'm looking to really tone up the weights part of it. On a side note, I ordered an extra set of 110-pound weights, and it's supposed to come on my Amazon Prime. I was supposed to arrive Thursday. They told me it wouldn't arrive, but they've given me no information. So you don't usually get jerked around by Amazon too much, but apparently I'm getting on the jerky side. So looks like I'll just have to be patient with that. So otherwise, till next time, this was day 28. So from day 29 on will be our next visit. So thank you again for visiting me on my cancer diary and journey.